Okay, so picture this. You've got a piece of tech that is an absolute masterpiece of engineering. I mean, it can create these incredible professional-looking videos with just a click. But then, imagine that same exact tool is so unbelievably broken and frustrating that it's basically unusable. Well, that right there is the paradox of Kling AI, a new video tool from Kuaishou. And today, we're going to unpack it.
And yeah, that really is the big question, isn't it? It's the whole reason we're talking about this. How can one piece of technology be this revolutionary, this much of a game changer, but at the same time be so fundamentally flawed in its execution that professionals just can't rely on it? Let's dig in.
You can really frame this whole thing as a tale of two AIs living inside the same product. On one hand, you have this world-class innovation, a model that is genuinely solving some of the biggest, toughest problems in AI video today. And on the other hand, you have just systemic instability, an unreliable product with policies that feel like they're designed to punish you and absolutely zero help when things inevitably go wrong.
All right, so let's start with the good stuff, the genius part of the equation, the technology itself. Because to really get why Kling AI is so exciting, you gotta first understand the massive problem it was designed to solve.
And that problem, it's called the consistency challenge. Now, for anyone trying to tell a story with AI video, this thing is an absolute nightmare. It's when your main character is wearing a blue shirt in one shot and a red one in the next, or the background furniture just randomly moves around. It completely shatters the illusion, and it's been the single biggest hurdle for using AI in any kind of professional narrative work.
So, Kling's answer to this whole mess is something called the O1 Unified Multimodal Model. Now, I know, that sounds super technical and complex, but the key word you need to focus on here is unified. Instead of patching together different tools for generating a video, then editing it, then fixing it, O1 does everything in one powerful engine. It's the whole shebang.
So what makes its O1 model so special? Well, like we said, it unifies everything, generation, editing, all of it. But it also uses this deep semantic reasoning to actually understand what you're trying to do. That's how it keeps characters and scenes so stable. And here's the really cool part. It simulates real-world camera physics. We're talking inertia, gravity, so the motion feels real and grounded, not all floaty and weird like with some other AIs.
So, how does it actually stack up against the big dogs? Well, in terms of raw output quality, it's right there in the mix. It's scoring an 8.1, just a little behind giants like Google's VO and Runway, which proves that Kuaishou has built a seriously competitive top-tier model. But its real secret weapon isn't just in the overall quality score.
Nope, it's in this number right here. A number that might look small, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. 30 frames per second.
See, this isn't just about a number. Most of the competition generates video at 24 frames per second, which is the classic standard for film. But by outputting at 30 FPS by default, Kling's videos are visibly smoother, more fluid, they just look more real and in line with what we expect from modern digital video. It's a subtle change, but it's a really powerful advantage.
Okay, so the tech is brilliant. We've established that. But now we have to flip the coin and look at the other side. This is where that masterpiece of engineering starts to feel more like a masterclass in total frustration. Let's get into the commercial breakdown and reveal the broken AI that's hiding under the hood.
This one quote from the analysis it hits the nail on the head. It perfectly describes the problem with Kling's entire business model. It's literally a system where the company profits from its own mistakes. And let me show you how. It all comes down to this one single, infuriating number, 99%. And this number, well, it represents the platform's most famous and most expensive bug. So imagine you're a user. You wait and wait for your video to generate. You watch that little progress bar slowly creep all the way up to 99%, and then nothing. It just freezes. The generation has failed. But here's the real kicker. The credits you paid to start that job, they're gone, vanished, and thanks to their policy, you are not getting them back.
And that 99% freeze is just the tip of the iceberg. The whole system feels like it's built on a foundation of frustration. Their credit policy feels punitive. Your credits aren't refundable, and they expire. The AI itself is unreliable, sometimes just ignoring your prompt entirely. The wait times can be insane. We're talking hours, even days. And if you need help, forget about it. Customer support is consistently described as just non-existent. It's a perfect storm.
Now, let's take a quick look at the pricing. You can see right away that the features pros need the most, like 4K resolution, are locked behind the most expensive plans. So, get this. The users who are paying the most money, the ones who need the absolute highest level of reliability, they're the ones taking the biggest financial risk every single time they click generate. It's wild.
But wait, it actually gets worse. The problems aren't just contained to the platform itself. Because Kling got so popular so fast, it created this whole new and honestly much more dangerous problem. It became a massive target for cybercriminals. All that hype, it attracted a very different and very scary kind of attention.
The sheer scale of this threat is, well, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. But it comes down to this one jaw-dropping number, 22 million.
And what that number represents is the total number of ad impressions from a massive malvertising campaign. Attackers created a bunch of fake Kling AI ads and plastered them all over social media, preying on all that excitement to trick people into downloading malware. This wasn't some small-time scam. It was a major security disaster that put a ton of users at risk.
And the attack itself was brutally simple and effective. You'd see a fake ad, click on it, and get sent to a fake website that looked real. You download what you think is the Kling AI software, but instead, you've just installed a remote access Trojan, also known as a rat. Just think of it like giving a hacker a key to your entire computer. They can steal your passwords, your data, pretty much anything they want.
So, after all that, where does this leave us? Let's pull both sides of this wild story together and try to come to a final verdict. Is this whole thing just a cautionary tale, or is it maybe a glimpse of what the future of AI development is going to look like?
The paradox couldn't be clearer. The promise is this revolutionary tool that nails consistency, has realistic physics, and gives you that smooth 30 FPS video. But the peril, the reality, is a product that is just crippled by bugs, a hostile credit system, and absolutely no support. The technology is light years ahead, but the actual user experience is light years behind.
And that leads us to the final bottom line recommendation from the source analysis. For any professionals watching, the advice is crystal clear. Keep an eye on this tech because it is absolutely the future. But for right now, avoid it for any serious commercial work where you have deadlines and budgets. The financial and operational risks are just way, way too high.
And that leaves us with a much bigger question, one that's about the entire industry, really. In this new AI gold rush, is that old Silicon Valley mantra of move fast and break things still a good strategy to get ahead? Or, as Kling AI seems to show us, is it actually a fatal flaw that will burn the very users you need to succeed? That's something to think about.